because of what Man United, what they stand for. I think Ronaldo's right. I don't think you can go and say, we're not going to win the league. I think what he should have said is, we're going to try our best to win the league, and he should have put a positive spin on it. I think when you're negative like that, it doesn't help no one. Players will be thinking, why are you saying that for? I would be thinking that. I think you would as well, Henders. Yeah. Why are you saying something negative right at the start of a season? Because you never know the way the season's going to pan out. No one would have expected Leicester to go and win the league. But still, you say you're going to, you put a positive spin on it. But Ronaldo, I think he's absolutely right. He was there. He was in the building. He didn't have a good word to say about the stadium, the training ground, the facilities, the mentality of some of those players. Some of the players like Garnacho is retweeting messages that, that doesn't look good as well from Garnacho's point of view. But, on him as a manager, like you said, Henders, I think it's just sour club at the moment.
Of the weekend, Southampton against Manchester United. Southampton, one of only two teams without a point. Manchester United coming off back-to-back defeats, that poor defeat against Liverpool. I think Rebecca asked me at the start of the day, what's most important, the performance or the result? And I said, result every day, every week, right where they are. Listen, performances can come. They did get the result. They got 3 goals. It was, I wouldn't say comfortable, but it was United without too many dramas, I think, against this Southampton team that faded away and down to 10 men in the end. But a good 3 points for Erik ten Hag and a good 3 points for Manchester United. And you kind of feel like just winning some games and getting a bit of confidence and a bit of momentum is where United are right now.
Yeah, I know it wasn't brilliant, particularly in the first half, but there's still moments, but I'm saying different. I'm not talking about the moments where they've had before last season where somebody will come inside and bang in the top corner. Yeah. There's moments in games where the combination play and the link-up play is quite good. Is really good. And I thought Joshua Zirkzee is interesting. I think he's still young. I think he's only 23 or something. It's going to take a little bit of time. But I thought he had a good game, Rob. I thought he had a good game. He holds the ball up well. He had a chance. He had a sitter he should have scored. He had a couple of big chances. We saw Eriksen come into midfield. De Ligt get his goal after a difficult international break where he was getting hammered a little bit in terms of his performance for the national team, which is not ideal. But I've said it now for a few weeks with Erik ten Hag in this particular phase of his career. There is that with these players that have been brought in that I think most people like, and I think they could be really useful. We saw Ugarte play. He came on, got some late minutes in the game. He's going to be different in midfield for them. I just think it's going to be a little bit of a slow burner. I'm not going to be reacting strongly over the next few weeks as I see this team evolving, because it is evolving. It's very different. Ahmad came back in for Garnacho. Rashford gets his goal. He's still under pressure for me, in my opinion, for Garnacho to play on that side. Yeah. But, with the midfield getting beefed up a little bit now, Mainoo's going to get better. The defensive line, 3 of the 4, is going to be different. Zirkzee offers something a little bit different. Rasmus Højlund's to come back into the side as well. Luke Shaw is a really good left back. So, it's a positive result, of course, but there's other signs in there that I kind of liked in terms of how they're gelling together and few moments of combination passes that look, that looks pretty good. Yeah. So I just think there's signs there that there's something better, and it probably is as these new signings get integrated, Rob, and find their feet, and the younger players get a few more games. It is going to be about these. Mazraoui's fitted in lovely, Rob, isn't it?
Yeah, it looks back. So much better. Yeah.
So I kind of positive. I thought it was not just obviously a good result 3-0. Southampton are doing their thing at the moment and they're finding it difficult. Yeah. But I thought United were improving in the game.
Yeah, and I agree with. I think Bex asked me again during the day about Ten Hag and his position and must he win, and I said I think we've got to stop thinking week by week and trying to make decisions on Manchester United. I get the sense that this ownership group is going to give this guy time, and so they're going to lose a couple of games. And I don't think Ronaldo came out last week, didn't he, with the big opinions about what they should do, and everybody in the press has got their opinions and whatever, and trying to have a dig. And this guy's going to be given time, and quite rightly, I think he's going to give him time to integrate all the players that he bought, players he wants. I think there's going to be time to get the system and style of play that they want. And I think there'll be time. I almost feel like Erik ten Hag should be almost feeling as comfortable as he has for Manchester United, because they're not going to hire and fire in a way that others might. Or if they wanted to get rid of him, they could have done. I get the sense he's got a Christmas at the very earliest, and if not a season, to see how he does. And if things don't go the way they want, I'm sure then that they'll make the moves. But I get the sense they want to give him every opportunity to succeed. And a win at Southampton, listen, is a win that you would expect from a Manchester United team. But I do feel as though, a bit like you, there's some building blocks in place, and given the right time and allowed to develop it, we could see we could get back to an exciting Manchester United who can start to compete in this league more than just contend.
Yeah, I mean, again, you know, I would have expected a change in the summer, Rob, to go with all the other changes. They didn't do it. And if people like us are sort of saying that the hierarchy and the background's been awful at Man United, director of football, the players they've signed, they've absolutely changed all that. So, okay, then you want this guy to continue. Well, there is a different a type of player coming in now. We should give him an opportunity to work with these players that seem to be more ready to go, Rob. Better age, better profile for a club like United. Let's see how he does with them. So like you said, there's a certain amount of time. It's like, okay, let's see it, and then when we've had a good few months seeing it, then we can see, is this progressing or whether it's not. If it's not progressing when all these players are fit and playing, then that's a big problem for the manager. But we're not there yet, and let's just wait and see how he brings his team on.
Yeah, not another good day for Russell Martin and his team. Up another 3 goals conceded, yet to get a point this season. He's very wedded to the possession game, and I like that, and I like what he's trying to do. Might have to tweak it a little bit, Rob, in terms of at times just mix it up a little bit more. You know, you come into a league with better players, with better quality, with depth of squad. You've got to find a way to get some points on the board and give yourselves a chance, and that's the thing that he's got to now wrestle with. I know how he wants to play, but maybe he's just got to tweak that a little bit to make sure that he's got a little bit of structure and a bit more security around his team up to give themselves a chance. Yeah,
listen, I love a man this proactive, right? And Russell Martin has been proactive. They're having a go, Rob. We how many times have we been on these shows and said, like, oh, you know, instead of, you know, Burnley of old or something, sitting behind the Blair and have a bit, they're having a go. And I can make notes and sort of saying, wow, they're pretty open when the ball turns over. They are. But for them to get possession and to try and create something, they have got to throw people forward, and it's a consequence. What are you going to do? You can still lose 3-0 to Manchester United or anybody else by sitting back 4-5-1, 5-4-1, whatever the defensive system, trying to play on a counter attack and never look like scoring and still lose a game. So yeah, you're right. Can he play with a little bit more insurance? I love the style of play. Why not? I mean, that's, you know, try and play, try and create something. And they, by the way, they came into the game. They had plenty of possession after a bit of a slow start.
First 20 minutes.
Tyler Diblin, the young kid, the right winger, Rob, that came as a little lefter. What a good little talent he looks like. And I'm sure we're going to see a ton more of him. Really good. Does brilliantly for the penalty. Absolutely too quick for Dalot there. And that probably was I'm not going to say the defining moment, because I think even if Cameron Archer scores a penalty, Rob, I still think Manchester United would have found a way from then on to go on. It would have been a different game. Yeah, it would have been a different challenge.
A little bit of confidence. All right.
Bruno Fernandes' comment speaks volumes on how Manchester United squad feel about Jadon Sancho. Jadon Sancho's loan deal features an obligation to buy for £25 million next summer, and he has already made a fast impression after setting up Christopher Nkunku's winner for Chelsea against Bournemouth. Bruno Fernandes showed Man United players still hold Jadon Sancho in high regard after singing the winger's praises following his man-of-the-match debut for Chelsea this weekend. Sancho struggled to shine during his ill-fated spell at Old Trafford and fell out with manager Erik ten Hag, who accused him of poor training performances, before their spat saw the player banished to the reserve team. Sancho's loan deal features an obligation to buy for £25 million next summer, and he has already made a fast impression with his new club after setting up Christopher Nkunku's winner for Chelsea against Bournemouth on Saturday. The 24-year-old dazzled after coming off the bench at half-time, and his former teammate Fernandes was keen to single him out for praise after the match. Sancho, who sent a pointed message to United after the game, uploaded a post on Instagram hailing the win with a photo of him celebrating alongside Nkunku, saying he was delighted to mark his Chelsea debut with a win. Fernandes responded, "Some player you keep that smile." Fernandes' comments shine a light on the sentiment towards Sancho despite the acrimonious end to his time at United and disagreement with Ten Hag having effectively called him a liar by denying the Dutchman's claims he was not performing in training. he looked a player reborn on loan at Dortmund as he started 18 games, scoring twice and assisting another 2, becoming a key player and starting the 2-0 Champions League final defeat to Real Madrid. Sancho is now looking to begin a fresh chapter at Chelsea, and after starring for the team against Bournemouth, boss Enzo Maresca said he loved the 73 million winger and told him to keep working hard. "I love Jadon, I love the players we have," he said. "The reason Jadon is here is because I love him, otherwise, he would not be here." Before Sancho and João Felix joined the club, I had a chat with them, and one of my messages to them was, if you come here and don't work properly, then you are not going to play. But the reason why I'm speaking to you is because I really like you. If you come here in the way that we want, we are happy. But if you come there and don't work hard, it's better if you don't come. France international midfielder and reported Manchester United target Adrien Rabiot is closing in on a move to Olympique Marseille, according to Italian transfer expert Fabrizio Romano. The 29-year-old has been a free agent since he left Juventus in July 2024. And the Red Devils were said to be preparing to hold talks with him, having been trying to sign him before the summer transfer window shut. However, Rabiot will not be joining Man United, with Marseille now in advanced talks to sign him and get the deal done before the end of the new week. Man United signed Uruguay international midfielder Manuel Ugarte from Paris Saint-Germain as a replacement for academy graduate Scott McTominay. The Scotland international joined Napoli on transfer deadline day, and while Casemiro was linked with a move to Saudi Arabia, the Brazilian remains at the Old Trafford club until at least January. As a result, signing another midfielder, even for free, does not appear to be a top priority for Man United, and it appears they never made any serious attempts for Rabiot. They returned to winning ways on Saturday, blowing Southampton away 3-0 after heading into the international break on the back of back-to-back league defeats. However, tougher Premier League games are ahead of them before the next international break, with Crystal Palace, Tottenham Hotspur and Aston Villa next, and Man United have to prove themselves against those teams for fans to believe they have what it takes to make a lasting impression in 2024-25. The Old Trafford club are currently 10th in the league table after 2 wins and 2 defeats, and they need to improve significantly going forward if they are to finish in the top 4 and challenge for major silverware this season.
Real sense of belief, right, and self-confidence, particularly having to come back from a rather tricky few days with this country.
Yeah, it was really tricky, you know, when the manager has to take you off as international duty to protect you. And
at half-time.
Yeah, at half-time. That is tough, and like I said at the start of the show, to come back into Man United, it's not as if it's an environment that's like we're in a good position to help you out here, but fair play to him. Got a goal, clean sheet to the team, and you know, maybe he can kick on. And to be fair to him, like I said, it's a new environment, new team. Yes, he's been back with a manager, but this is a good base for him now, and hopefully he can, as an individual, can really kick on and help Man United in that back line.
Michael, I know you like the way he took his header. Before we get to that, let's have a look at the turning point in the game, which was clearly Andre Onana's penalty save, which spurred on United as a result.
Yeah, it was a very good save. I don't think there was any question mark about the penalty. Dibbling there, doing brilliant for someone so young to be so positive and being so direct. We questioned whether it was just outside the box, but I think the contact continues inside the box. Just gets the toe in there, sucks the defender and the challenge in, and goes down. So no question there. That was definitely a penalty. The penalty itself was a weak one, quite an average one, wasn't close to the corner. He wasn't made to wait a long time for it, but I don't think there's any excuses. It's a solid save from Onana. No,
it is a short run-up, and you're thinking, like you said, Michael, to beat Onana, you've got to bury it right in the corner. But for Archer, it was just like Southampton really needed him to score for that confidence and that run. And then that save there then was just like the catalyst, and it went all wrong there, and within 6 minutes I think they were 2-0 down, weren't they?
Yeah, well, 2.5 minutes from that save, 1-0 United, Michael.
Yeah, it was a really good header. I know it's from a close distance, so you probably think it's easy watching that there, but he's got a lot going against him. We see Stevens playing everybody on side, which is a theme of all 3 goals actually today from Southampton's point of view, but the spin of the ball is going against him there. It takes pace away from it when it curls in that way. So he was never going to be able to get much power. So it was all about the precision, and it was perfect, absolutely perfect. Right back across the goalkeeper, right into the corner. It's a lovely header.
Yeah, again, it's like you said, great header. You're just disappointed from again how they just don't squeeze the pitch. You know, second phase again for this goal. You don't get out to Rashford quick enough, and as soon as it goes back, any negative ball back, you have to squeeze. You have to squeeze as a group. And the minute you leave players in a position where they're onside, did it make Ramsdale difficult to see the ball? Who's to say? But at this point, there's got to be a leader within the team that says that pass back, get out, and we squeeze, but we squeeze together. And again, there's another player, Sugawara, keeping everybody on. It's just like, you know, you can be so good in possession, you can dominate ball at the time, but if you don't do the simple things like a set piece or a second phase, or you don't squeeze the pitch, get tight to someone on their dominant foot on the edge of the 18, you'll be 2-0 down after 6 minutes when you've played pretty well up until that moment.
Yeah. And they're up against it. By the way, those goals clearly coming after a half-an-hour period in which Southampton asked plenty of questions of Manchester United. Going to the second half, United controlled proceedings. Jack Stevens seeing red. How did you see this?
Yeah, I'm a little bit torn, actually. I think it is quite cynical. I don't think it's really dangerous. I don't think there's a load of force in it, but he's absolutely meaning to trip Garnacho up. But I think it is more of that. I think it's more for, you know, trying to bring him down rather than trying to hurt him. And part of me says, yeah, I get why it's a red, but then part of me would like to see a yellow as well. I'm sort of in between. I'm orange on this one, Manish. I think he's a little bit unlucky, even though he's absolutely tried to bring Garnacho down. I don't think it's really endangering the safety of Garnacho, so I think he's a little bit harshly done by.
Okay.
Yeah, the mood is good. Eric Ten Hag said that goal for Marcus Rashford was huge. Before the game, Peter, you said a confident Marcus Rashford starts for England. What will that do for his confidence?
Yeah, listen, he's not there yet. You know, it's one game. Obviously, Southampton have been struggling. There was lots of positives. I mean, he takes a hammer in Marcus Rashford, and I feel sorry for him at times, you know, because I think people expect so much, and he has got so much talent, and you know it's in there. But there was a certain hunger to him today. You know, look at the pace and the you know how dynamic the running was today, and obviously the goal will do him the world of